Hey everybody, so what's happening out there? So today, in the last few days, there's been some articles recently on Dell, and they had a mass layoff recently this week, I think it was, and around 12,000 employees were let go, Dell employees were let go. Most of it was in sales and marketing, and it they blatantly said that they pivoted to AI. I mean, they stated it out there. And so it kind of throws out the misconception that AI is having nothing to do with a lot of these layoffs that are going around. And it's before they were uh, using other excuses. And I'm not saying it's the whole cause for a lot of the layoffs in 2023, 2024. It's not it's not everything. They just overhired. I think that was the majority of the reason for the layoffs. But this one, they stated in a lot of these articles, it's a second round. It was a mass layoff. They must have had one. In the last 15 months, Dell had one. And yeah, they're basically stating that they're pivoting to AI. And AI right now is kind of even crappy. It's a lot of support and sales. And you you try to contact Comcast or any other company that uses their AI assistant, and it's horrible to deal with. But they usually have that, and then they have some salesperson. If you get frustrated with that, then you end up going to a live agent. Of course, they're probably like overseas or anything like that, but that's a different story. I don't know. I think a lot of these Dell jobs, it looks like they're most of them were in the U.S. It seems like it, and their stock has been getting crushed. I don't really pay attention to it. Dell is pretty much a dinosaur to me, like this shirt, Jurassic Park. And last, I think, last company I was with, we all got Dell laptops, and they're like bricks from the. Once you get them, they're bricks. They're just. I don't really. It's not my thing. I don't like their their laptops or their PCs or anything like that. I mean, it could be these layoffs for Dell. I think it could be, of course, it's AI, but then again, a lot of tech people they don't really. Maybe you do if you like Dell. Comment put some notes in the comment. But I haven't heard many people that do. Like the last Dell laptop I got was super bulky and heavy compared to an Apple. It was just like night and day. Like it seemed like it was 5 pounds heavier to bring it to lug around and just to you put on your desk and you could feel the weight of that thing. But yeah, it's just a shame. I feel for all these people that were let go and the machine just took it over. These 12,000 people, they need to pay their bills and everything else. And I think why jump to AI this early in the in the beginning stage? But I think it's just because money talks, and it's if you don't have to pay anybody, the of all those 12,000 people that likely like maybe AI was replacing, I don't even. And it seems like they're moving to that. They're just getting leaner and having a lot of AI do a lot of that sales and marketing. Um, I mean, sure, AI can do a lot of that, the sales side and the marketing side, and I mean, you could have less people running the business on the sales side if this AI can. You can't tell the difference in like the intro call or the marketing. You can't really tell in the beginning stages, and maybe some other a live sales rep jumps on there and say maybe you needed 10 people and you need two now. So it's slashing the workforce. It's just a real bloodbath, but it is a shame. But I did look at the stock, and a lot of time when things are creating like that, it kind of does give the the company the go ahead, a reason to get rid of people when they're publicly traded company like Dell or any other company. It just that's just the nature of the business, and you can't really fault that. And yeah, anytime you're in I think always when I was in a publicly traded company and there's some major drop like that, man, you're wondering if you're next or you're the next person to get called, and I'm sure that was on their mind even before it happened. And like the stock, I think last few months it's down $50. I haven't checked it recently, but yeah, I don't. It's they have to pivot into some other business like what IBM maybe did, and maybe that will improve things. But I think IBM and Dell's almost like the new IBM with without IBM's or how IBM really moved into like the consumer side. Like even back in the day, they were just nobody was buying IBM PCs, and so they went into a lot of the consumer side, like restaurants, different stuff like that, using their IBM system to do their orders and stuff like that in the beginning. And then they really pivoted into that area. So I think Dell needs to probably do something like that if it hasn't already, but because their stock's getting crushed. But yeah, this video is throwing out the notion that AI has nothing to do with these layoffs, and you can clearly see now that it does. Not 100%. A lot of it was mass overhiring, and but it did play some part of these job cuts and the difficulty for tech people trying to find work out there. It's just making less. If companies are getting leaner, they're not really caring about growth. They're just as they were before in the past, so they're just getting leaner and leaner and meld, trying to gel AI into their system. A lot of uh, the smaller companies really can't pay for AI right now, but the bigger companies can. They might, you know, partner with the Palantir or any other company that has, insight. They're the first ones to get into AI. And these AI systems are getting smarter and smarter by the day. And I mean, for me, they're really crappy if you're trying to, call up a company and they're using this AI assistant. It's really a pain. But I think down the road, it will be able to replace the customer service representative on that it can't, like the questions like it can't figure out, or some eventually it would just eliminate all those jobs. I mean, it's kind of AI 1 right now, 1.0. And I mean, it can do chat and do other things like that, but that's just the beginning stages of AI, I think, as they train these LLMs. And it's pretty new to me and everybody else. It's for me last 2 years, but I do know that AI has been around with other like different things like navigation. I know a little bit about that, but that was when it was just that's what I heard. It was I'm not 100% sure on it, but it's like navigation for planes and ships. Back in the day, they had used some rudimentary AI, and then from there we took that idea, I guess, and made it into what it is now. But they don't have the chip power right now, and they will more. And then the thing is, they're going to keep training and training and training. It's going to get smarter and smarter and smarter, which is going to be really scary for everybody out there that's working in tech. But then again, you have to pivot if you're working in tech. I think right now is a good time. It's so fresh, 2 years into it, so you gotta just pivot into AI. I think that's what's really gonna help you learn that new skill. Just you myself, I'm just learning AI prompts on my own, and then just the other software that AI has, and just it's so rough and new for me, but I think that's what you have to do if you're worrying about your career right now. Maybe you're laid off, but man, jump into AI, just take some courses and mess around with the AI prompts that are easy to figure out. It's and then the other software that's out there, and then just try to even be creative with AI and just do that stuff, dabble into it there. But this video was, yeah, it's about the notion that AI had nothing to do with these layoffs, when you can tell now they are laying off people because of AI are replacing these people that are out there, that they're losing their job this week. And I know it's a mass layoffs, and I heard on the news they had some just escorting them out. I don't know fully, but I think I saw some Reddit posts that the police were down the street. It's just horrible, man. And these people have mortgages to pay. Um, Kids are going back to school, and they have all this stuff, and I'm sure they got some severance, but it's gonna hit them down the road like 3 months when they're still looking. Maybe they'll get a job right away, but it's like everybody else, it's tough out there. So yeah, pick up new skills and try your best if you want to stay in this industry. Otherwise, the industry will just leave you behind. That's just the way it is. And yeah, so the AI are starting to show in these layoff numbers that AI has a lot to do with this tech recession that's going out there. And then Gen Z that was jumping into the workforce, and everybody else around COVID that was skyrocketing. Everybody was getting hired that really, some of them were unqualified, but it's like everybody else. When I first started out, I wanted to get in the industry, so I don't blame them for trying to get into the industry. It's kind of almost the tech industry's fault for over hiring when something was so temporary like COVID. They were just trying to get butts in the seat and trying to these junior level programmers. Didn't have to even be programming. It's because there's so many other things like ETL, data engineering, stuff that is not 100% programming, but there's so many sectors in tech, and they're just jumping in and hiring, IT support, their IT analyst, network, everything. You got a computer science degree, boom, you got a job after around 2020, because everybody was jumping onto tech. But it doesn't. Those are the days, but I think if you're young and I would try to build something, and that's how I got into tech in the beginning. If you want to get back into, get into Java, CSS, HTML, and then build up some portfolio to show to these employers that you can do some work. Maybe you had like 2 years experience, and almost in a way that's kind of all you need, and as a booster or maybe have an internship. But at the same time, don't go blind and just apply with your experience or your CS degree thinking you're going to get a job. You got to really build something from scratch, build an app, website, anything like that, and then I think that's what will really get you in the door if you're in that camp. But yeah, it's sad to see more people getting laid off. But I think I don't know if there's more to come, but it is what it is. Hopefully when the Fed lowers rates, then I think these jobs and these startups will start hiring again, and more startups will be born. And I think more startups will be born because there's so many tech people that are just sitting around. They're After a while they're going to get bored, man, and they're going to want to compete and create startups of their own. And I think there's going to be a startup boom because of this. They're like myself and everybody else are just getting annoyed that we can't find work. So we're going to be creative and build our own startups. But Dell, that's another story. I don't want to touch that stock. I don't even. I think I have some IBM, but that's my only dinosaur stock. But and a few other. I kind of with those dinosaur stocks. I use their dividends and I put it into like Nvidia or Tesla or Uber or Palantir of the world. That's a good way to do it. Use your dividends and put in those up and coming stocks. And majority of them that I have are tech stocks that is what it is. But yeah, it is. Dell is a dinosaur, and those layoffs stink. But yeah, if you like this video, hit like and subscribe, and I'll definitely see you on the next one. And yeah, learn some AI. Peace.